Hello, mama gonna turn. Musuglela lenhlupeke sazandura. Mama gonna turn. Musuglela lenhlupeke sazandura. Hey mama ga, nocturnal.
Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Khorata Johani and I am here today with Skarama Billion. Skarama Trillion.
She's here today with Skarama Billion.
Skarama Billion. Yes.
Skarama
Billion. Okay, please, before you go anywhere, please make sure that you like and that you subscribe, that you comment and that you share. It is always, I really do love seeing and replying to your comments and interacting with you guys. You can go also follow us on our socials at Foreign King, and this is
just search Karaba Mandipa Tapelo. You shall find me.
Saint Karina.
Saint Karina.
Saint Karina.
Okay.
I actually like the name Saint Karina.
Okay, thank you.
Body shaming is criticism or the judgment either on myself or on other people, and this is something that happens quite a lot in our society, even to the youngest of kids. And I feel like we just want to share our experiences on what it is, how when we first discovered, okay, this is actually body shaming, and how we are working on it daily to get over it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So Karabo, why don't you start by telling us your story with body shaming and stuff like that?
Okay, so first I'm gonna start with a very important fact.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, I was fat.
Is that an important fact?
I mean, it's important for my story.
Okay.
You know, growing up, I was fat. I was considered as the fat girl.
Mm.
You know, the fat girl with a pretty face and a nice personality. That was me.
Same.
Yeah. So, growing up, it just started in primary for me. You know, it would start with people, first of all, let's say when I was in standard 5, I'd tell people I'm 10 years old. They'd be like, what? You're 10 years old, but you're so fat, you know, and they don't filter it. I'm like, hey, Mayang, hey, Inkaro, 15, what, you know. So it started there for me. Then it just continued as I got older. I remember there's this one instance when I was from high school. I was on my way home, mm-hmm. and I was in a combi. I was sitting next to some lady. I won't, you know,
say her name.
I don't know her. She was just like an elderly woman. So I was sitting next to her, and then she was like, hey, Wanaka. You already know
what's coming.
She's just like, she did this, you know. She's like, hey, Wanaka. Dude, who are you?
What?
You know, and the thing is, when someone makes such comments, well, before, nowadays I don't do this. Before, all you do is just smile and be like, hey, Emma, you know, because you'd feel so awkward and you'd be a little embarrassed, but then you don't want to embarrass the person who said it by, you know, lashing out and acting as you should. You know, it's actually acting as you should. You just, you know, you nervously laugh and what. So, see, I was so affected that I remember this, and this was like around 2012, and I still remember it now. So, as the years passed on, I became a very self-conscious. Yes, that's the word. I became very self-conscious. I remember around 2014, I lost so much weight. You know, I didn't look sick, but I looked sick. But
well, you weren't sick, but
I wasn't sick, but I looked sick. So I lost so much weight, and it's so crazy how people treat you differently after you lose weight. You know, people treat you like you're a human being now. They treat you with respect. When you're in public eating, you don't get nasty looks like, those girls so big and she's out here, you know. You just
hate that so much.
Dude, you just get treated like a normal human being. Mm-hmm. You know, you're no longer you're not, even when people compliment you, they're not like, oh, you're so beautiful. It's just that you should lose just a couple of, you know, because I've been complimented like that before. Like, oh my gosh, like, go to hella, you know, if you could just drop like but 10 kg, ah. So, yeah, and then another thing that I noticed is I hung out with a lot of guys when I was growing up because I was a tomboy. So I hung out with a lot of guys and would be in groups and they'd be talking about girls, talking about how, you know, who would they smash and why would they smash them, and who wouldn't they smash and why wouldn't they smash them. And I don't mean like a long time ago, I mean some couple of years ago, just probably around 2015. That's when I was starting my first year at university. So, you know, be talking about, yeah, hey, let me let me talking about the most. That's all I can say.
They always talking. Boys are just.
They're always
Why?
talking about the most.
Why do they feel the need to comment on women's bodies? That's just the question.
And they'll be commenting on like everyone, even people just passing by, you know. I wouldn't lie, I was part of the whole, you know, checking out people passing by like, ooh. But I mean, which girl doesn't do that, you know? Like.
But then, when you said tell me how the comments, you know, that people were making, did it affect your self-esteem?
Oh,
did it
yes.
affect how you look at yourself?
Yes, it really, really did affect my self-esteem because, you know, when you become self-conscious, I feel a certain level of self-consciousness makes you more susceptible to social anxiety because you always feel like everyone is looking at your roles, is looking at your, you know. So it did make my self-esteem go really low, really low. And the thing is, when you have a low self-esteem, it reflects in all your choices.
Facts.
You know?
I love that she said that.
It's
Facts.
so true. Because just looking at the choices I made before, I could see that they're coming from a place of self-hate, you know, and the self-hate was created by all this outward, what's the word?
I'm not sure where you're going. That's why I don't know the word.
You know, like outward interactions and everything, and what I see on media, what I hear from people. But, you know, I couldn't remember the TikTok I sent you. Oh my gosh. You couldn't go to a family function without getting roasted. Just the whole day. You know, if when a new family member comes through the gate that you know what they're about to roast me. And I laugh about it now, but
back then it was so hurtful.
It was rough. So yeah. Did you have another question for me? I'm out of things to say.
Okay, actually I don't.
Okay.
But thank you for sharing your story.
You're
but
welcome.
let me just ask you this before I tell my story. Are you in a better place now?
Yes, I am in a way better space because I don't know how I did it. I can't give you a step-by-step plan because I feel it's different for everyone. So with me, it's going to sound so cliche, but I just started appreciating myself a little more, knowing that I'm more than this vessel that I'm in, you know? Just knowing that I am looking at all my traits, all my skills, my talents, and just appreciating that I am who I am, and not comparing myself to anyone because we're all different. We've all been created differently. So that's how it started for me. Then from there, it just got better and better.
Okay. Yo, as for me, I feel like ever since I was born, bro. Ever since I was born, just people had so much to say. I feel like even in high school, I was just so bullied because I was never really like the skinny girl. I have never been like skinny in my life, like ever. Like I was always like the thick girl, you know, a little bit bigger than other girls and stuff like that. But I wasn't as big as I am now, right? I mean, like from primary until high school, I was just, you know, just a little. I was a baby, but like I looked older than I was, obviously, you know, and I would get those comments as well. You're 15, you look 25, you know, and stuff like that. And
then we will talk about, one day we shall talk about how men were predators to us because we looked older.
Exactly.
And you tell this man like, yo, I'm 12, like, that's nothing. I mean,
anyway, men are embarrassing. We'll talk about that later.
Moving on. Yes.
So I felt like from like primary until high school, like I was just like, okay, right. When I got into high school, I started gaining like quite a lot of weight. Like I was expanding and I was just stretching, and as I was stretching and just like there was so many stretch marks growing, you know, the breasts were growing, the thighs, everything was literally expanding, and there was absolutely no mercy. None. Not from my family members, not from people on the streets, not from my schoolmates, none.
Not
none
even
at all.
from your friends.
Not even from my friends. Actually, my friends were the ones leading what I thought was friends were the ones leading the crowds. You know, oh, let's all just body shame Horata and let's all just talk about, you know, how big Horata is and stuff like that. And I just feel like, yo, bro, like I just felt like that time was I have never been more self-conscious than I ever was at that particular time in my life, because I felt like, first of all, I'm transitioning from a baby to a young adult. I'm trying to figure some things out. I've started menstruation. What did you think I was gonna say? No, I started menstruating, and I was honestly like, I just felt like I couldn't know when you transition from like a young adult to like a, you know, from a baby to a young adult. Things are growing, you know. You start to feel certain things for the other gender, you know, and while you're also trying to figure that out, there's also these people who are bashing your body, you know, telling you how big you are and you need to lose weight. You're not beautiful at that size. Actually, what they told me was, if you would just lose weight, you'll be more prettier. That's what they told me.
True.
And honestly, that just took my self-esteem all the way down. I literally was walking around with my hands like this on my boobs, because I just felt like, you know what, I don't need any more comment from anybody telling me that I'm big again. And I think that's the process where I started wearing baggy clothes, because I just felt like if I wore tight clothes and somebody said something to say, like somebody would just come to me and just start touching my rolls, like, what is going on? Like, what is that? They did that. Like I told you, like there was no mercy. And I just felt like, yo, bro, like I really had to like be a lion. Like I had to just find my own ground. God, you know what? God, it took a lot for me to reach a point where I was like, this is not gonna affect me anymore. And it took a lot for me. Kind of even the family members, when you go to family functions and you are like, you gain a lot of weight, even if you're just trying to eat like food, they would just be like, you can't eat that much, kana, you know. And I'm just like,
as if you gain weight in one day,
bro. Anyway, I just felt like that took my self-esteem all the way down. My self-esteem has been on the floor for a couple number of years. My self-esteem, self-appreciation, sense of self-worth has been on the floor for quite a while. I only just picked it up like when I was 19 and stuff, and that's when I started to roll, you know. When I started, you know, like appreciating myself and knowing you can't live like this. I am where it's at. I is what it's at, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, I just feel like, okay, so Garaba, tell me this, for someone who's at home, especially for the young people, you know, especially even the men who experience body shaming. I
feel like we don't talk about
men who experience body shaming because
they don't bring it up enough, you know. They really don't. I feel like guys don't bring up body shaming enough. And you know, one thing I've also noticed is how girls, you know, it'd be like, oh, body positivity, ooh, yes, you know, no body shaming. And then when a short guy passes by, the guy, would never date him. You
Right.
know, like we're being hypocrites. It has to apply to both sides.
To both
You know.
genders. And I
Yeah.
also don't like it when in like a group of boys and all of them, when I pack or skinny or whatever, and then there's one guy who's like a little extra, and then the others they start to pick on him and start calling him big this, Zdutla, Scoopoo, big this, and I'm just like, it's so unnecessary for you to be doing that. Like, it's unnecessary for you. Why don't you? And it also just speaks to how they'll only like body shame the big one, but as for the small ones, oh, they get a little bit of mercy, just a little.
That's true.
So, Karabo, tell me, for somebody who's watching this right now and they want to know what, okay, this is where I'm at. How do I overcome this? Like, where do I even begin to, start appreciating myself? Where do I begin to like start accepting that this is me?
Okay, so first of all, what matters is what you consume. You know, you are what you consume. So you know that whole saying, garbage in, garbage out. So if you're constantly watching, listening to things that promote body shaming, I don't think you could ever break out from it. You're supposed to purge your playlist, purge your movie list, purge just for that time being, because I feel like once you get strong enough, once you believe in yourself enough, nothing can shake you anymore. Because you know how when a plant is growing, I'm going off topic, but you know how when a plant is growing, we support it. We support it. Then as it gets bigger, we just remove all the support and it grows up on itself. So as for now, focus on what is promoting the shame for you and just purge it out. It's going to be hard, maybe not. It's going to be hard.
It's definitely going to be hard.
For example, if you follow a certain influencer on Instagram and you feel like every time this person uploads pictures, you start analyzing your body like, oh my gosh, I wish my arms looked like that. I wish my shoulders were like, I wish my waist was, anyone who causes you to start analyzing and criticizing yourself negatively, just unfollow them, Just don't, they won't even know, no offense. They won't even.
And then even if they do, I don't feel like it matters.
It doesn't matter because it's your piece, right? You need to work on that certain aspect, so it's what's needed. And one thing is surround yourself with people who don't body shame you. You know that those friends who, when you meet up with them, the first thing they notice is like, oh my gosh, last time I saw you, this wasn't like that, this wasn't like that. Just surround yourself with people who understand the concept. Like, if you can't change it in 5 seconds, no need to comment about it, So just surround yourself with like-minded people and it'll get better. And also practice a little bit, not a little bit, just practice mirror work, You talk to yourself, you stand in front of a mirror, you look at yourself and be like,
I am a stunner.
That's
right.
Exactly. Even on your days when you're feeling low, just look at yourself and be like,
this is where it's at. I is all
exactly,
that.
Exactly. Just practice that. I don't know for how long until you feel a change. Just keep doing it.
And also, I just feel like when you're going into if you want to get married or you're going to go into the dating scene, you'd want to date real men. You know what I mean?
Not boys.
Not boys. You want to date a man who knows this is real life. Like, not everyone's gonna have like a small waist, big booty, small arms, small chest, like Barbie things. You know what I'm saying? You want to date like men who know that you are a real person, who sees you, and who definitely doesn't belittle you or doesn't body shame you. Especially if you're very insecure, you want to date someone who's definitely going to pour life into you and hype you up all the time. Make sure you date a man who hypes you up. Listen, take it from me. I've dated men who have body shamed me. It's the scrapes on the floor.
some don't even say it. You just see it in the way they treat you.
Yeah,
like,
they
this
treat
person
you.
doesn't rate me at all.
At all. Is that
So
all?
yeah, I think so.
Oh, also,
so.
if you wouldn't say it to your friends, don't say it to yourself. Like, I usually never comment on my friends' bodies unless if they ask me. You know what I'm saying? And even when you do ask me, I'm gonna say it in like a polite way, because these are things that just, some people don't really get over stuff as easy as some others do.
True.
That's just the reality of things. And so remember to be kind. And if you don't have nothing to say, just keep it to yourself. Nobody's gonna die. And so, is that all?
Oh, and there's one thing that I saw on social media that it's so spot on. It said that normally when
Gotta really look really gorgeous, right?
Thank you.
Look at this. Okay.
Thank you. I'm not gonna concentrate. Okay. It said that normally when there's someone you don't like, you know, if there's someone you don't like, you come for the body. Because I remember people were body shaming Donald Trump, right? So the thing with that is, even though you feel like you're expressing your dislike for this person, there's another person going through the comments with the same body type as Donald Trump, and they're reading your comment as you body shame this guy. How is that gonna make, how is that going to make them feel, So even when you're on social media commenting on things, you should be mindful that you're not the only person who's gonna see this. There are multiple people who are gonna see this. So you don't want to be the reason that someone goes to bed at night, hating on a certain aspect of their body because of what you said, So like Horata said, be kind, always be kind, be thoughtful, be mindful when you're on social media.
And even in real life.
Yeah.
That's all.
That is it.
I am so glad I had you on the show today.
Thank you. I liked being on the show today.
Okay, thank you for watching. And please, I'm gonna put our Instagrams and whatever in the handles. And go please watch my previous videos and stuff like that. And like and share
and subscribe.
The most important thing is that you subscribe, my honey. Okay, so see you next time, yeah?
Bye.
Bye.